First of all, very good afternoon to everyone. Thanks for being present over here. And I hope you are enjoying the OCD 24 from last 2 days. And before that, even we have the smart class. And you also enjoy the party on yesterday as well, right? So let's we talk on the topic that is the simplifying the reconciliations with Odoo, right? So before we go ahead, myself, Naitik Kansara, I'm a functional consultant at Odoo, right? Before we present and go ahead, I'm requesting you to please scan it. This is the normal process we need to do. Okay, and subsequently when we have the queries, if time permits, we just take care of the question and answer. So we wait for the next 1 minute or something, and then we go ahead. Okay. So when the topic say the little bit topic had been the touched in the last the smart classes, the last course the yesterday as well, and the video has covered the few points. But this topic, when I say the reconciliation, it is in depth. Is the the detailed requirement is required, right? So when I say the reconciliations, right, it is not just in the accounting terms, but sometimes it is required to be go in the detail, right? And when we talk about the reconciliations, we always think we are just dealing with the BRS, that is the bank reconciliation only. But it is not that way. If you are being a chartered or handling the financials, at the end we need to be reconcile the many other records as well, right? So when I say the reconciliations, you need to be compared two things. Okay, when you compare it, then you need to be reconciled, right? You compare anything, any records, or you create a benchmark and then you are just comparing with it. Then the concept itself called a reconciliations, and then to start digging out come across. So here from the financial aspects, if I say the reconciliations, you are comparing something in terms of the records, okay, and you are agreed to on one point of time that okay, yeah, this is the benchmark we have come across. So how the Odoo will going to help you at the valuations in terms of saving of your time, or the adding the values in your day-to-day operations. So before we go ahead, I requested you to all of you to understand these two terms, that is the types and the methods. These are so important, right? If I say which type of the reconciliations, right? So basically these are the three, but actually it is not three. There are the four reconciliations, right? The cash we are not taking care in our books of accounts. But imagine you have the multiple, the petty cash, your interest account which is handling or given to someone else. Then the problem of the reconciliation is also be required in terms of your cash transactions and cash everything. Now you can settle and create this reconciliation, whatever the demo I'm going to show ahead, you can do at the same time. But over here, when I talk mainly the bank reconciliations, second are vendors and the customer reconciliations. These 2 points we always forget, but believe me, at the end of the financial year, your chartered, your controller always will look forward to it. Whatever you are going to do, you need to be reconciled, get your records at one part, and then you need to go ahead. So that is the requirement, but we always think about the bank reconciliations only. And yeah, of course, a method. We always try to do the method being called as the auto, and second one, that is the manual. Manual we always try to do from the last decades, or from long end, from 11 onwards we start studying and try to understand this concept. We are doing this the manual one only. But what if when you have the multiple transactions? What if when you are selling, or what if you are in the B2B business and B2C business, you have that multiple records, but you are just creating only single invoices. So imagine a situations when you have the create a single receipt in your books, right? But you are going to get the multiple transactions in your bank. How you are going to do? Will you be just sit and doing it across to it? Already the accountant who is handling, or the owner entrepreneur is always been stuck with this. Why? How we are going to manage it? At one point of time, they are just left it. Okay, whatever we going over there, just put over there in the books and close that financials. This is what practically the people are going to do. And Odoo have the solutions. What if that you have that multiple transactions that have been there in your bank statement, which are recurringly happened? Every time the people are supposed to check the statement, pushing the entries, go to that journal and either duplicate it or recurringly pass these entries. But what if I say give the solutions or give the pop-up over there, you just put it over there and your problem is solved, right? So this is how the Odoo is going to help you. So that has been covered in our auto reconciliations method. This second thing, you need to understand your stages. The stages of any invoice, you can say the life cycle, right? When you use the Odoo, right, you do have to work with the 3 stages. Once you create an invoice or a bill, it is kept as not paid, right? Once you make a payment, right, now you need to be very clear. When you make a payment, you are not making a payment from your bank statement itself. So if I see the reconciliation from the bank perspective, you have the 2 things. One, that is the bank in your books, right? And second, that is bank as per the statement. Either they are reconciled or both have the same balance, or it do have the differences. Then the point start, that is the reconciliation is required. So here, when you make a payment, okay, you receive the payment in your, or you make a payment in your books, right? But that might be received either on the tomorrow or the day after in your, the bank. Then the reconciliation is happened. And third one, once you received in your book, the stages has been changed from in payment to becoming paid. Once it is paid, means it is reconciled. So at a financial stage as well, you can find an audit as well, right? So being a person who work as an auditor or the controller, they have the options, have the visibility that where I need to check the records and which records are yet to be reconciled, right? Now again we say on the reconciliations model, now there are the 3 methods, right? Out of these 3 methods, 2 are going to recommend me that which the further actions I need to be take care, and the third one will give you the options to do the auto reconciliations work. Means you just need to set the methods, okay, give your criteria, give your conditions. Once it is due in a way, okay, the system will start doing reconciliations or transactions automatically. We definitely dig into the live database as well. So it's time to do for the demo, right? So in our demo, so this is my database, and we jump into accounting, right? So before we jump into our database, okay, hypothetically you just understood that we have the few customers, okay, to whom we had already raised an invoices, okay, made the created the receipts as well, okay, and against which I need to be reconciled. There are the multiple scenarios we are just touch over there. So first of all, let's say we go to the invoices in the customer and select the invoices, and these are the different stages, the payment, the status, and the the different payment stages we can able to see. So let's say I'll select and created the earned payment. Okay, so we have the customer, the name is Mr. Ajay. So let's say select Mr. Ajay and create the invoices, right? So if you can see, the invoice has been created, the total value of the 10,000 rupees. Now this invoice has been created. So this is the at a first stage when I have not, you know, the received any payment from the customer, neither in my books nor at my bank statement. So now I register the payment. How easy it would be. You are not passing the journal entries or not settling up. You are just putting, you know, a pop-up, you know, I register the payment. It is by default, you know, you need to be select the bank only. I select the bank, you know, the HDFC. I have created the journals, you know, the reference numbers has been selected, and I created a payment. Once I created the payment, just have a look, you know, the invoice has been changed and it become a in payment. Now this is at, you know, the financial level. The statement has been, you know, the status has been changed, your ledger has been settled. But now in your bank you have received this, you need to be reconciled, and now this is the point to be always take care. So let's say this is at my bank, I have created the journal. Now over here as well, you have that three options to take care of your transactions. First, that is you directly, you know, link your bank. Okay, for an example, HDFC Bank, you just click the setup bank, you know, you just select the HDFC and your bank's transactions is going to be imported. Second one, you have the options of you know, the import the file. You are always going to get the, you know, the statements in your books, or the next day if you have the current account or the savings, you are going to receive it, right? So that you are going to receive on the next day. You have the simple formats, you just import it and your data is covered in the bank as well. Now the third one, that is I'm just using, that is the manual option is also available. I'll just do that manual transactions. I'll give the just you know, the random details. I'll give the details of Mr. Ajay, to whom I had already invoiced. I'll select the payment and you know, I'm just giving the reference and I'll create a new. Once I create a new, you know, you just look, the system is automatically giving me a pop-up that this much amount has already been received, right? And this is at bank. In my books, I had already received it. My partner ledger already been settled. But this is received in my bank, and this is, you know, where the Odoo works in an amazing way. So if you just validate it, once you validate it, your transactions is reconciled. Now the important thing is you just go back, select the same invoices. Okay. Now if you are going to check Mr. Ajay invoice, the stages has been changed from in payment to paid. It means it is reconciled. Your financials are reconciled. Your transactions are also reconciled as well, right? So this is the first way. Now let's say in your bank transactions, if you have received the charges, what I had initially discussed in my initial presentations, that what if there are the few transactions which have the direct impact, okay, and which is not come across in your bank, in your books. How you are going to deal with that? Okay, so let's say I'll select the bank. If I select the bank, let's say you have the charges of 590 as a bank charges, right? It is covered up with your GST as well, right? So how the Odoo will going to add the value to you? So for this kind of these transactions, Odoo have the reconciliations model, right? So if you just select the reconciliations model, go over there, create a bank charges as a reconciliations model, and as I initially said in my PPT, we have the three type. The first two, that is the first two type that need to be selected as the, you know, will give you the opposite ledger to be selected, and third one is the reconciliations. I'll definitely cover the last one as well. So if you create a button over there and give the, you know, the further informations to it, okay, for an example, I have created the HDFC bank account, selected the bank account, gave the you know, the percentage and you know, the tentative my GST impact. So this transaction are recurringly happen in my books, right? Now I just save it. I again go on my dashboard, right? I'll select my bank, and once I select my bank, you know, the bank charges, you know, the total is going to be happen over here. If I select these transactions, just have a look. My entry has been passed, and I just need to be validated. Once I validate it, my transaction is also reconciled. So let's say we'll do it. I'll validate it. Once I validate, my transaction is reconciled, my statement has been changed, the status has changed, and now I don't need to be going my books and again need to pass these entries. From this bank onwards you can do it, and this entries has been passed at the financial level as well. So how easy it would be, that what I am just basically talk about. Now the third options, right? Let's say we have that auto reconciliations model, right? When I have selected the conditions, the different conditions I have given, and we have that one options that is called the auto validations, right? We had selected these auto validations. When you select it, how many entries are going to be come across with selected reference details? It's supposed to be reconciled. So let's we jump into it. For an example, I'll just filter the data with the unpaid, so it becomes easy to visible for it. So let's say Mr. Jayesh has raised the invoice. So the use cases would be like work in that way. We have received the invoices, we had created the invoices. Okay, we received the only single payment, but due to any reason in your books, in your bank account, you are receiving the multiple transactions. So how you deal with them, and how the reconciliation model will work into that case, right? So let's say I register the payment. For easiness, let's say I'll give the reference as an OCD, so it becomes easy to identify, right? So total amount is 50,000. I created the payment. Again, my status has been changed. My invoice is nullified. Okay, and if you go on that, Mr. Jayesh ledger, it has been reconciled as well. But now the debtors are reconciled. But now the thing is about that bank reconciliations. So now again I change to and go to that bank. So this is my bank, right? Here I'll just demonstrate how you are going to import the transactions, multiple transactions. So let's say I'm importing the transactions. This is the same way what you are going to do in your day-to-day life. Okay, I'll select the date for which I have created the transactions. I'll just show you the the details. These are the multiple transactions I received on today's date. The total value is 50,000 to me, right? The total value is 50,000. Now I need to be import this file, so I just test it. Yeah, it seems valid, so I'll import. Once I'll import, you just imagine my 17 records are being imported in my bank. I'm not talking about my bank as per the books. I'm talking about my bank as per actual. That is my statement, what I'm getting from bank on day-to-day basis, right? So here the status has been changed, and you can just have a look. It is showing me the 17 records I need to be reconciled, right? And if I'll click on it, okay, I'll see these are the total amount of 50,000, and these are the number of entries. So Odoo is going to give you the first options. You can the match existing entries if you had passed so. But here in our case, we had created the 50,000 as a one entries against which the multiple entries are come across. So now the time the the reconciliations model to indulge into. So let's say we create it and run manually, right? Okay, so this is the entries on which the 50,000 has been paid, the amount has been received. Now the transactions, the same amount that the same reference we need to be take across, right? And when I see in my bank, these are the 17 records, I can see the references over there. These are the OCD references, right? I'll again go on my dashboard. This is the reconciliations model, okay? These are the auto click. You have to select and give the references at which transactions are going to be take care, right? At which method and where it would be, right? So we have covered up the on which journal we need to be set, whether it is only on the receipt or we just need to be covered only on the references model, and we just save and create this model, right? This is going to be happen on every selected days, okay? And selected way, once you are just either it is importing the data and start importing and start reconciling. So this is the one way. Now if I talk about, you know, the reconciliations options, so here as well, you know, sometimes when I see the records, the people are getting, you know, the more about, or they don't know that why these are the two different reconciliation happens. But over here, you know, these are the reconciliation can also be done, okay, the automatically and the manually. For an example, let's say we created a bill, okay, Miss Himani, you know, the vendor has we had created the bill for 50,000 rupees. Now the concern is, in actual life we had received these invoices or the you know, make a payment in the part way, right? So we had created and make a 3 payments, but now we at a you know, the partner level, the ledger are settled, but you know, on the invoice level, either I need to be settled or I need to be select them or I need to be reconciled. So how we are going to take, right? So go to that accounting, go to that reconciliations, and over here in debtors, right? In debtors and the creditors, and again there are the two different other options, that is outstanding receipt and outstanding payment. These are the controls account. You need to be understood it first. And if I'll go to that creditors, I'll select the Humanis, and you know, here I can see the transactions are been, you know, the total balance is 0, but you know, I need to be reconciled my creditors. So here we have that options of the auto reconciliation. At the same time, we have that auto, you know, the auto reconciliation options at the top. If you do it, select, give the criteria, and just, you know, the run the cycle, the system is automatically reconciled out over here. So one options I just take care over here. I just reconcile. Here again the system is giving you the 2 options. It means the 15,000 transactions, first I need to be reconciled, settled one by one. So for 15,000, the entire 15,000 I need to be matched, and second one, that is the 15,000 that is been I have received, but in the part or with the different amount. So let's say that first I'll just consider one by one, and then if I launch it, what the system is going to do, system is reconcile it, you know, and my transactions has been reconciled. Now on the vendor level, the invoice has been reconciled and my entries are also, you can able to see it. Now, you know, just we have the few minutes left, so we are just taking care of the one more options, that is, you know, we are going to reconcile the transactions, and many of times we are facing it. We, you know, we need to be settled our debtors and the creditors against each other. So for that, you know, go to that accounting, go to that reconciliations part. Now, if you go over there, Mr. Pinang, to whom I had already raised a bill, he is my creditor. So let's say this 60,000 I need to be settled against Mr. Dinesh, who is a debtors to me, and he asked me that, you know, you just reconcile it and I don't want to, you know, make a further payment. So let's say I'll just match it and I reconcile. I'll system here as well again give you the options how you are going to do, whether the rest amount you need to be written it off, okay, you can do it, or you allow the partial allowances, or you know, you just create it, you do the reconcile and open. Now the system is inbuilt creating a journal, settle the amount at a data level, and at the same time, you know, the 20,000 that has been, you know, the pending at the you know, for the data's part. So these are the reconciliations. We take care, and how the reconciliations model will going to help us. That is the main the add-on advantage with the Odoo. Now again, come back on our demo part, the PPT part. Believe me, it's a big subject. Okay, we need the further, the detailed view in case if you have the concern. We have the, the booth as well, right? So what are the advanced features which are come across over here? So first of all, that is of course, it is an auto reconciliations. It is avoiding my manual transactions and the manual interventions as well. The batch reconciliation is also been possible when you are creating the multiple batches, right? Search and the filters is always there, and the suspense account. This need to be understood, very important, that when you are doing the control account or when you are doing the the audit risk or something, this will add on the value over there. What are the benefits? Of course, it's increased my efficiency and the visibilities as well. Improved my accuracy as well, and due to it, my the operations time is reduced, and as a part my time and of course my cost is being saved. So that's for my that's on my end. If you have the queries, you raise this concern, okay, and in case if you required, you can raise the demo on that as well, so we can able to give the live demonstration as well. Okay, so this is again, thank you, the Naitik Kansara. This is from this side. Thank you so much.
Hi, Naitik.
Yeah.
So we are having few questions over here. The first one is from where I can see the BRS, bank reconciliation statement.
Okay. So the bank reconciliation statement, if you go over there, okay, these are the reconciliations part. If you click on that reconciliations part, right, so whichever the entries, these are the not match, means it is unreconciled, okay, and at the same time, if you select the change the transactions, whichever the transactions are reconciled, you can get the details over that which are already been reconciled to you, right? Here you have the options of the reconciliations report as well. So whichever the transactions are reconciled and pending, you can get over there.
The next question: do Odoo provide direct fetch transaction from bank automatically without import options? If yes, how do I configure it?
Right.
For the configuration, they can come to.
Yeah, for the configurations, you can come across at the booth. But I just show you. You have that options of that setup. You just select the bank, give your credentials, and you are good to go ahead.
How to reconcile payments received in payment wallet like PayPal? Because from payment wallet, the total sum is deposited to bank. If already reconciled with PayPal statement, then how do we reconcile with bank?
Okay, so basically here you need to understand the two different things. The first, you receive the transactions at the PayPal, and then you received in your bank. So once you are creating the journal, you reconcile them, okay, and then whatever the amount you received in your bank, you can definitely going to reconcile it with as well.
We have created auto feed generation.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any lagging time? Means, if any transaction is dated 24, it will come today on itself, or it will come after 2 days like that?
No. If you are just fetching the transaction, it will
Come on time.
You have that option. Either you can run as of now as well. You can do it.
Okay. For any other question, you can write on pad. We'll answer it there, and you can obviously come to our booth.
So thank you so much once again. Enjoy the OCD days.